Pitching, catching, hitting pretty. That's how the Giants won the city. Spending summer seasons in the sun.
Yeah, it's baseball season. Ain't it great? Ain't it fun? Giants on a winning streak right now. What are you laughing at?
Now,
that
come
about?
on, Ron.
Well, they are. They're 1-1.
We are.
Yeah, I mean, overall,
161-1. How does that sound?
sounds great. I don't think it'll happen. I think it'd be more like 160-2. But anyway, any questions you've got about the San Francisco Giants, 808-0810. He's Larry Baer. He's the CEO. He runs the whole thing. I know you'll get the complaints about what's going on with as far as food is concerned. As long as I get the carved turkey, that's fine. But other than that, you can't get that on anyone except the middle level. What do you do?
You know what? I've resigned myself that when people complain, I've resigned myself to the fact that when people complain, that's a good thing because they care.
Yeah.
And we have the greatest fans. I mean, as you know, 489 consecutive sellouts, regular season, and our fans have just been spectacular. And you rewind the clock 20 years. Who knew? I mean, in 1997, we broke ground in the ballpark and didn't know, really, is this a baseball town or not? We thought it was, and the fan support, the latent fan support and television ratings, radio ratings, and everything was there, but we didn't know. So when people complain, when I hear the beer is warm, the hot dogs are cold, and the beer and the bullpen sucks, it means somebody cares.
Exactly. No. I mean, truth be told, there are two good reasons. Number one, the chemistry. The Giants, every year the Dodgers are always picked. They're going to win, and the Giants always win because we've got the chemistry that I don't think any other team can match.
Well, Ron, it's really important. I have to hand this to all the folks, from Bruce Bochy and his coaching staff to Bobby Evans, Brian Sabian, and the front office. I think the recognition is that it's a long season and a small clubhouse. And it's just in baseball, I think, especially because of the length of the season and because of the everyday nature of it, you are connected to and with family. This is not a teammate who comes and goes. I mean, it does sort of big picture. Players do come and go year to year, but it really is more of a family environment. I mean, just think of this. They're playing 162 games over a 183-day stretch. So, everybody, your job, you have Saturday and Sunday off. These guys, they don't have Saturday and Sunday off. They come and they go to work and they'll say go to war with their 24 friends and their coaching staff and their managers and hopefully their friends and hopefully their respected colleagues, if not friends. And what we found, and I think some of it's the personalities that Bobby Evans, Brian Sabian has drafted, and that Bruce Bochy and the coaching staff have put together. Whether it's a Brandon Crawford or a Buster Posey or a Hunter Pence or a Johnny Cueto or a Denard Span or a Joe Panik, I mean, they're good people, and they're people that are into team goals.
How is it possible for you, the guy who runs the Giants? I mean, you understand every aspect of the team, of the game, and the like. How can you negotiate with a player when you know damn well this is a great, great player, and yet you've got a limited amount of money that you're willing to spend on that player? How do you do that?
That's a great question, and it's really hard, especially for a veteran player who's been with us for a while, and you see, maybe they're headed toward the end or in a little bit of a downward trajectory. And what do you say when they've done so much for you over the years and brought you so much success, and contributed to great championships in our case, and you just feel like going forward, the team, it's probably not right for the team to have them on the team because there are other guys that would make us more successful. And I can give you a couple of names just this year that fall in that category. Sergio Romo, Angel Pagan, players that were Santiago Casilla, players that want to keep playing, that led us to championships. In the case of Sergio, he was here for all three, and Angel was here in 12 and 14, and Santiago was here for all three. But you have to, and I think every successful organization realizes there is a point where you have to keep making the team younger and rejuvenating. We're extremely loyal to these players, and as you see, even if they end on another team, they come back.
I mean, it's a great answer, but it didn't answer the question. You set up the problem perfectly. And that is, what do you do when you have a player that's been great for years and on downswing and you got to negotiate? But answer the question, how do you do it? And not even a downswinger, just a regular day-to-day player. If Joe Panic were up or something like that.
You mean up for negotiation?
Yep.
How do you do it? It's very hard. It's very hard. I mean, that's why they have agents. I mean, the good news is you're dealing with the agent.
Right.
Okay. And, I remember in arbitration, I go back to Tim Lincecum, and I wasn't at the table, but I was involved with Bobby and Brian as we were preparing for it. The arbitration process is necessarily an adversarial process, right? So players between 2.5 and 6 years of service time are eligible for arbitration. That doesn't mean you'll lose them on your team, but what it does mean is you have to negotiate with them and come up to a number. And if you can't agree, then there's a 3-person panel that will pick a number. Baseball-style arbitration, they pick the team's number or the player's number, no middle ground. And that's really hard because what you're doing is you're then getting ready at the table. In the case of Tim Lincecum, we settled, I think it was 10 minutes before the session was about to start. But we had our case to say why Tim Lincecum, great pitcher, but isn't as great as whatever number he was claiming. And he had a case that said Tim Lincecum, great pitcher, and every bit worth every penny of what he was asking for. And you don't want to be in that adversarial relationship or position. So I think in that's a great example of your question, which is you do it with a heavy heart and you try not to do it as much as possible, meaning that settle and come up with a compromise. But sometimes that's not possible.
I've always felt this. I mean, I've said this over and over again. Baseball arbitration, I love the concept. It should apply to everything. BART workers want to go on strike, fine. The union comes up with a number, BART comes up with a number. Bingo. That's it. No middle ground. Yeah. I love the idea.
Well, it really is effective in the sense that your
cuts
number,
to the chase.
It cuts to the chase, and your number's going to be moderated, right? So I'm just picking numbers. If somebody thinks they're worth 10 shekels, 10 million, 10,000, whatever, they think they're worth 10, and you're in baseball style arbitration, they're not going to come out and say, I want 20. If the team or the other side says 8, because the arbitration panel is going to have 8. So what it does is it gets your initial offer or your final offer close to reality as possible versus a situation where it's just a standard negotiation where you can come up with a outrageously high or outrageously low number just to try to get to a sort of an artificial middle point.
And a reminder, not only me, but a whole bunch of us, Monday, we'll be broadcasting right at Catty Corner from AT&T Park, Lucky Strike, doing the show live. Come by, say hi. It's kind of fun. Did that for years. I just love the idea.
Well, it is a city holiday. You realize that.
It should be.
It's a city holiday.
So you officially can get the day off.
Yeah.
Will
you work on the mayor on that?
I know, because I want to work on it. I want to work on opening day, because then when I'm done, I cross the street. 808-0810 is the number. Any question you've got, feel free to ask him. He's Larry Baer. I'm Ronn Owens. We're talking Giants on KGO.